Is that shiny Brandon with you?
Hello, hello. Yeah, it is Shiny Brandon.
Oh my god, look at the hype, dude.
What's up, Primer Dimer?
Dude, okay. So first of all, I don't know if you've ever heard one of my breakdowns before, but like, I found Monster Train 2 very fascinating. I want to share like my findings with you.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why it's really, really fascinating is because obviously when it's announced, at first, I guess before you announced Monster Train 2, there's been this like series of like people kind of like playing it safe in the game industry and like just making sequels, right? Like, and that's fine. There's nothing against that, right? It's just the point of coming off the like the first Triple I initiative. Did you watch the Triple I initiative? You know what I'm talking about?
I did not. No, I don't know what that is.
This that big like indie conference thing.
No, I actually don't keep up too much with conference stuff.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So there was this big like indie conference thing that was made. It was supposed to be like this huge conference, but like pulled together by like indie devs and stuff. That's where they announced Slay the Spire 2 and like all of this stuff. Anyway, it was all this hype, and then the first one got announced, and it came to be. And what it was just like a bunch of like already super big successful indies that are like not even indie anymore, like Slay the Spire, you know, or like, you know, all the big dogs that are already super successful, like talking more about their stuff, right? Not like actually indie. So I was kind of disappointed. Not disappointed, like it's still cool, but I was disappointed. And then all the big dogs are just like announcing like sequels to their already successful games, and like had nothing to say about sequels. And then we even got like some that's where like Prince of Persia, the roguelike platformer, got announced, and it looked really cool, but it was actually just like Dead Cells reskin but worse, right? Like, and so I got like really disappointed. I'm like, what is going on here, right? Like, we're just trying to make these like play it safe, kind of cash grabby, and you know, people put a lot of hard work, right? It's not like a jab at them, but like, you know, it's just sad from a consumer perspective of like, damn, like I want to be excited about these things, but we have like nothing to offer here, right? We're just playing it safe.
Yeah, it's hard to find unique stuff nowadays.
So it's interesting with Monster Train and part 2. There's this deep perspective that like your team cooks, dude. Like cooks. Like they show and pioneer new ideas and make new ideas great, even with Inkbound. And so Monster Train is so fascinating because I didn't see it until Monster Train 2 when I played the demo and I came back to the game. So I played Monster Train 1 and I'm like, holy crap, right? I thought it was just gonna be another deck builder and like with a gimmick on top. And I played it and I'm like, oh my god, right? Like this is pioneering. And I can get into the breakdown of like why. I'm not just like, oh my god, it's good because it's cool and blah blah blah. Like, no, there's a lot of design stuff that really pushed the industry, right? Like this whole like
you're on a train.
Right, you're on a train. You know, allowing the player to feel like they're coming up with synergies and they're breaking the game and doing all this creative stuff. You know, without this, we wouldn't have the Vaults of the Voids, and we have the Nova Drifts, and like now it's just popular. You see games marketing it like, oh, make a broken build, break our game, right? It's like marketed now. But you guys created that, like you started that, right? There was an echo effect, in a way.
Yeah.
And so then that's how we got the Wild Frost.
Definitely one of the early people to encourage the, you know, breaking the game and wanting people to find broken things.
And it's even harder to do that when nobody did it before you, right? That's how other people create. They need somebody to do it first to show them, and so to create that in your own space first before anybody told you it's okay is a pioneer, right? And so that was really cool. So for them to create that and then make Inkbound, and they cooked again, right? And that's where you guys come in, and Inkbound was so different and awesome and in a new design space and so freaking crazy. You guys cooked it again and tried to do something so ambitious. I still think to this day Inkbound does a lot of phenomenal things, and it might even be too ahead of itself and too ahead of the market. And that is a real thing too, right? Like the market just might not be ready for it, and that happens all the time. And so I found it really fascinating.
There's such a thing as too unique and too different from the standard.
So I think you guys did something phenomenal again, and you cooked, and it went how it went. So then for you guys to do something a little bit more safe and then come up with Monster Train 2, you know, it took me some time to digest it, but then I got it, right? And I found it really fascinating. It's like, okay, well, if this studio, you know, wants to keep pioneering and stuff and then decides to play it safe, to give them that freedom to keep doing what they do, all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Like that makes perfect sense. That's phenomenal. Like, why would you not do that? Right? What if it's like a studio can shut down, or it could do something like safer? What would you choose? And it's like, well, yeah, no, like make something that's going to work. but then the fascinating part is I go back to the demo of Monster Train 2 and I play the demo and I'm like, okay, it's more Monster Train. But what I realized is that when you guys develop so ahead of the market, like Monster Train was so ahead of the market, now you guys are working on the sequel, but it's still ahead of the market. Like that was the perk of doing something really like ambitious and really cool and taking those chances many years ago, is that you guys are just way ahead of the market already. Right?
Yeah,
And so Monster Train 2, it's like, yo, you guys can drop a new Monster Train and it still works. Like, because these other deck builders and stuff still don't have the things that you guys have. They're still trying to learn how to do that. So it's like so fascinating. And so you being one of those pioneers and working with that team, I just want to like thank you guys for doing that, like taking that risk. We don't have a lot of I call it like the sheep and shepherd. We don't have a lot of those shepherds that like show the path to tell other devs that it's okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we Inkbound didn't do as well as we wanted it to and everything, so we wanted to, obviously we had to play it safe and go with something we know really well, but our philosophy for Monster Train 2 is to just try to make it better in every way than MT1.
And you guys are doing that, right? Again, it's the Monster Train that you love, but you guys, like, the more and more I dig into the design here and the space that you guys are trying to tackle, now with the abilities on creatures, and now that I'm seeing events for the first time, because I didn't really see that in the demo. I don't think there was some in the demo. Maybe you're keeping it a secret, or I just didn't run into them. So the surprise of like, yo, put these cool abilities on people, right? And put these and that was a new space, the equipment and the rooms, and you guys trying to add more layers that allow successful builds. It's not just build up a strong creature, build up strong spells. Now you have like, do you want to play around equipment? Do you want to play around these powerful rooms and have those synergize with? And it's such a cool space that you guys are expanding on, and I'm falling more and more in love with it. And so yeah, like I love what you guys are trying to tackle here. This is so awesome.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought about it, but I guess we're the only like room-based deck builder, kind of Slay the Spire type thing. So yeah, I guess we have a lot of extra design space there.
You do, work with. Yeah. And even the games that are trying to do it, I play like everything under the sun. But there's a new deck of like Haunts. Like, have you seen it? And it tries to do, the room stuff and things like that. But you guys are just
I saw
so
another
ahead.
train deck builder come out recently. I don't know what it was called.
I saw 2 little ones, but I haven't, like, nothing expansive like you guys have.
Right. Side note, funny, somebody mentioned Inkbound it reminded them of Atlas Reactor. One of our designers on the team worked on Atlas Reactor.
What? You guys are right on the money.
Yeah.
You guys are right on the money. So yeah, just what you guys are creating here in a sense of allowing the player to feel like they're creating is just really a testimony to how ahead you guys are. When you can design in that same space and still be so ahead of the market and so relevant, I think is something phenomenal. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of games where like the developers come up with synergies and you just find them, right? And what I mean by that is if I make poison, right, and then I make catalyst, and then I make poison, I made a build. You just have to find the parts to it, right?
Right.
You guys were one of the first people to do what I coach on today, where you make the player feel like they came up with the synergy. They're going to attach things together. They're going to make it work. Like if I have let's just say a consume synergy and consume artifacts, and now I can give cards to consume to make them part of that synergy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's the space you guys are in. That's so sick, and people are still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for crazy builds, and the players can get as wild as they want, and you can build around pretty much anything. It might not always be good and win, but you can build around anything.
I love it. Do you guys have any expectations for today and release week? I don't know if you're allowed to say anything.
We just wanted to do well. That's our expectation.
Yeah. Oh, also your guys like the demo, and you guys went with the demo of Monster Train 1, obviously like before your time, but you kept that idea with the demo of Monster Train 2, and to show that like an extremely generous demo for a game that's just phenomenal and replayable is just a wonderful idea. Like there's nothing to hide. It's like, yo, go ahead, play our game. It's extremely generous. Here's the demo, and it's like, and then it still has great success. Is just so freaking cool. And I think Monster Train was one of the first games I've ever seen do that.
Yeah, and it helps us too, because we can hear what people think of what's you know, what the state it's in, and then we can iterate on it. And we had the in-game feature where you can send us feedback from the game. Press F8 and send us feedback, and then we can make adjustments. And we make a ton of adjustments based off of player feedback.
Love that. Love that. I have 2 more things for you, just to keep you. I'm yapping enough. 2 things. Feel free to answer or not answer. 1. Is there anything that you guys are still planning that you can tease, or do you guys even want to keep doing stuff with the game? I know you don't want to commit to anything, you know, don't say too much, but if there is any teasers or things that you guys are still working on, or even if are you guys planning on still working on it, 1, and 2, with the crowd, is there anything that you want to say for release day and tell everybody? I know you're just excited about release and stuff like that. Take it away.
Okay, 1, I don't have anything to say about, you know, anything upcoming, except we're going to be probably fixing a ton of bugs and things, because we're going to get a bunch of feedback from people on release, and I'm sure there's going to be things people find, so it's going to be a lot of bug fixing and stuff. So expect some patches. And 2, address the crowd. Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Thank you for streaming it and enjoying it and hyping it up, and we're just happy it's out and hoping it's better than MT1.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Wait, real quick, who does how does the balancing in the game work? Does somebody have to play it? Like, is there people with like crazy skills at deck builders and stuff that like test high difficulties in the game to like balance it and stuff? Or how does that process work?
We have playtesters, volunteer playtesters, and you know, we're all pretty alright at the game, but we're not like the best of the best, so we can see when something doesn't feel good or, you know, could be better, but we don't always find everything. So we have like, we always bring in a bunch of playtesters, and we steadily bring in more and more as the game gets closer to release to test everything. So yeah, people that are really good at Monster Train 1 or whatever, they come in and play.
Dude, I freaking love that, man. Dude, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to like hop on and just impromptu and just be like cool as hell. I know the crowd loves it as well. It's so freaking awesome to see, like, you know, devs that are also just like super down to earth and like, you know, in that kind of space.
Of course. Yeah, we're all chill people. I'll see if our lead designer wants to hop on today sometime.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll be here all day. And dude, another thing is like, don't be afraid to keep creating. I hope Inkbound doesn't scare you guys into like, you know, playing it safe and stuff. Like, you know, find your success.
We
you
just
guys
learn lessons from it, you know.
Yep. And you guys are so good at what you do, man. Keep cooking, keep doing, you guys. I'm so excited for whatever you guys do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Much love, brother. All right, we'll talk soon, dude. Thank you so much for hopping on, man. It means the world.
See ya. Enjoy the game.
Later, brother.